Than this evil, smashing your power structure, melanin royal regal, system designed to kill and unprotect. Worldwide hit the streets just to get some respect. Our fight and our rights for freedom will never waver. Justice Breonna Taylor, salute Chuck and Flavor. Feel the same anger since Radio Raheem died. Black power to the people, push forward pride.
Fighting power like it's an octo. Born to fight, I made it off the block though. Thought he had a gun and he was black, that's the combo. The police killed George having a convo. They killed Malcolm X, they killed Dr. King. They gave us guns and dope, they wanna stop our kings. Trying to erase our history, stop and think. History class ain't tell us about Juneteenth. Cops don't give a damn about a Negro. Pull a trigger, kill a nigga, he's a key, bro. Living life on welfare. The last one who cared was Obamacare, round 12. Nose kinda bloody, gotta keep fighting. Trump through to North Korea, they respect violence. If you ain't trying to have your city on fire, put some respect on our name. We come from gold and diamonds.
Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power! We got to fight the powers that be. Elvis was a hero the most, but he never meant to me. You see, straight up racist, the sucker was simple and plain. Cause I'm black and I'm proud, I'm ready, I'm hyper, I'm amped. Most of my heroes on a piano stamp. Sample all look like you looking by nothing but Redneck for 400 years if you check.
Don't worry, be happy.
Was a #1 jam. Damn if I said you could slap me right here. Get it.
Let's get this party started right.
Right on, come on. What we got to say? Power to the people, no delay. Make everybody see in order to fight the powers that be.
Throwback edition of Ask Mathis. I'm your host, Reggie Mathis, and rocking with me is my brother, Wildman Teddy T, a.k.a. Baron the Mound Builder.
Yes, we are here live on Ask Mathis, where you can call us 786-801-0031 and ask Mathis.
Sure you can. And then we got our own legendary Dr. Spock, DJ Newkirk. What it do, sir?
I'm here getting you right.
That's what it is. And then we have our NFT expert, Michael, in the building, man, just to throw in some random thoughts from here and there.
Absolutely.
What's up, bro?
Happy to be here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I am Reginald Mathis. This is Ask Mathis. Let's go, man. 786-801-0031. You know, give us a call. Tell us what's on your mind. We certainly will tell you what's on our mind. But where we going to start off today, DJ Newkirk?
We're going to start off with the Dolphins, man. Wide receiver, another one catching COVID.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And it's our rookie wide receiver this time, Waddle. What we think about that, Teddy T?
You know,
5 in a row. Are we gonna make it to 6 in a row? Are we on 6 in a row? Looking for 7 in a row. Which one is
that's
it?
just on the Dolphins, or that's just in the NFL?
Dolphins. Dolphins got 5 now.
Right now, there's a breakout in the NFL. A lot of different teams are going through it, you know. And I think the protocols that they've been doing is sufficient, but still there's going to be those that break through. Even the Browns, the quarterback and the head coach have COVID, and they got to get 2 tests before they can come out on Sunday. So
they still may be able to play on Sunday?
Yes, if they get 2 tests. So I think that's the thing with these guys that are getting it, because they're conditioned and
they're vaccinated,
and
right?
they're vaccinated. You know that's why they can possibly get it and they can get away. I think, but when you talk about this, when we say Antonio Brown, how he had the fake vaccination card, and then
Aaron
Rodgers didn't have a card,
right?
But
he just was talking as if he was vaccinated,
right? Which is the same thing as faking a card to me.
I think so.
But Antonio Brown was suspended
3 games
for 3 games before that, and now they're questioning him, should they even bring him back for those antics?
Right, because
that's some BS.
Because they're talking about it being a federal offense, and that's the issue. That's the issue. That's the issue for the NFL.
It's a federal.
It's a federal offense. Yeah, it's
we
a
have
federal
to.
offense.
I guess
falsifying
the document,
a health record.
And so it's not a federal offense to lie to say that you were vaccinated?
Nope.
That's terrible.
That's a personnel decision.
That's terrible.
That's a personnel decision.
Ooh.
That's a organization
right
decision.
Bylaws.
As far as, how they gonna deal with it. And looks like the Green Bay Packers decide we're gonna go with Aaron. They said, hey, if State Farm didn't drop him,
hey, why should we?
Why should we? Especially when he don't want to play for us anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And we forced him to come here and play. So he's coming to work every day. He's doing what he needs to do. So we'll give him a pass.
Mm-hmm.
AB, not so much. Maybe because Aaron Rodgers never really did anything in the past, and AB has a spotty, yaddy track record. With the, it's just so many things, bro. We don't need to belabor it, but he had the issue with the trainer. He had the issue with the mover. He just had.
He's a flight risk.
Issues.
He's a flight risk.
There's issues, bro. I don't understand, but you know what? Everybody has something that they dealing with that they got to go through. Because you can look in and say, put yourself in another man's shoes and be like, man, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do this. But, you have people, bro, look like they have it all and they suffer from depression. They have all kind of issues, self-loathing, self-hatred. They don't think they're good enough. It's all kind of, Michael Jackson, bro, issues, bro,
but if to me, it's just common sense. If you were knocked down and left for dead, and then the GOAT, the main dude, the quarterback, comes to bring you to the Patriots, number one, and then he gets you back into Tampa after you got out of the Patriots. Something's got to tell you, man, that there's people out here that this is probably the last person that's going to save you, and this is the best person who could save you. And if you don't make it with this guy,
and he brought you to Tampa.
That's what I'm saying.
While
and he
you
brought
was
him to
home,
Tampa.
while you was home, brought you in there, while they was already, winning, and brought you in. Said, bro, come over here. That shows you something about Tom Brady. Why I think Tom Brady is presidential material. He's the type of leader that I think the country could rally behind because you'll have individuals like Antonio Brown who would go to bat for him and who would, go and campaign, in black communities and say, hey, I can tell you straight up what he's done for me or, how he stood with me. Similar to, remember, in Miami back in the day when the wide receiver was going through his federal drug trial, Dan Marino showed up.
Duper.
No, it wasn't Duper.
Clayton.
But Clayton had an issue, but it wasn't him. It was a guy who had been traded from San Diego, but he grew up in Miami, in South Florida. You Google it right quick. Just put Dan Marino, Dolphin wide receiver, federal trial, and you'll see when Dan the man, that's the definition of jury nullification right there. Dan Marino comes to your courthouse and your courtroom and you're a juror. Are you going to go against Dan? Not at that time.
Oh, heck no.
No.
Not at all.
No, not at that time. No, definitely not at that
No.
time. So, you find it, Teddy, or no? Dolphin wide receiver, drug trafficking. He was supposedly, he wasn't actually pushing the dope, but he was giving the money and loaning money to his friends.
Tony Martin, I believe.
Tony Martin,
Yeah,
exactly. Tony Martin,
Marino takes stand on Martin's case.
exactly. Yep, Tony Martin.
1999.
Tony Martin. So there you go.
That's big. And that's just good when those situations happen, but it's like for Antonio Brown, it's like he makes us like, nah, forget him. If we say don't give him a chance because he done had the chances, that's the only thing. Like, you're a great player, but I've seen so many great players mess themselves up from their personal choices in all kind of sports, from high school to college to pros.
Yeah, no, definitely, bruh. I know of some, bruh. I know of some guys when I was in high school, man. This running back, you know, a lot of folks from outside of Pompano would know his name. When you say his name, they would say, hey, this is one of the greatest high school, you know, running backs out there.
Rod Baker. Rod Baker.
There you go. You can't make it up. Can't make it up. But, you know, growing up, bro, this guy was just
incredible.
You know, as far as football, man. I saw him get into a fight. I saw him take on 3 brothers, right? By Brothers Liquor Store. Well, not liquor store, but Brothers Groceries. No. This is on Hammondville at the time. Hammondville and Estero Avenue, I believe. And he beat up 3 brothers. And it was still like
By
it wasn't. It was still, and it wasn't like it was still fair. You know, it's like when Andre the Giant going against, you know, 3 wrestlers. You like 3 to go against him at the same time. But
he played football the same way.
Allegedly, you know, while, you know, in school, he and some other guys went and hit a Wendy's drive-through, and still had a scholarship after that, bro. Still had a scholarship, I believe, the University of Missouri. They still was like, come on, and messed that up, bro. So I don't know what it is with some folks, man, as far as just in their heads, what's going on in their minds, or just, you know, it's like, you know, the comedian. A lot of times the comedian is the one who's dyslexic or, you know, has some type of learning disability and doesn't want classmates to know. So the teacher asks you to read, you know, folks would do something silly to get out of it, and they rather get sent to the office or whatever to be embarrassed
in front of the class,
bro, because it is nothing
you can live that.
like the wrath of a sister. It is nothing like the wrath of a sister, bro. A sister who laughs at you, bro, it's like
It's the other girls that laugh at you.
It's like snatching your soul, bro. It's like snatching your soul, bro. And they said you just like, cause you not supposed to fight them. You know what I mean? Like you just, and you not, you know what I mean? So you can't really get the Jonah, because Jonah always leads the fighting, really. You know what I mean? If it's really, come on, like if you really roll with it. If you really grew up in it, it leads the fighting. You know, like Batman hit my hand. You know, it leads to fighting.
It does.
So when a sister comes and just, you know, laugh at you, you know, just imagine like, oh, you can't even read. Oh, you read like, you know, you know, I done seen some folks, man, who was probably hurt on the inside. I saw this dude punch this girl in the hallway, like just cold cocked her. I'm like, whoa, he's dead now. This guy is, yeah, God bless the dead, but he's dead now. But cause she's, bruh, you know what? She said I was standing there. I don't know why I get to stand at all these battles, these epic battles, bruh. But I was standing there, bruh, and they was going back and forth, and she said, she said his breath stank. It was like something she said, but when she said it, when she said it, bruh, just like, cause everybody just laughed, he just bowed like, damn, cold cocked her, bruh. I was like, whoa, wow, that was, you know. So I'm just saying, man, don't underestimate and value the pain that somebody has, man. You just gotta understand it and know, especially, man, when you getting the better of somebody. I'm just looking at the footage of the young guy we was talking about from OFN that got killed in Chicago. They said over the mural of Vaughn, and so he's, you know, wrestling with the guy. He got him down, and when he lets him up, dude just get the gun and just blast him 6 times. 6 times. And supposedly that was your homie, your friend. and you end up that upset, you shoot this man 6 times.
That's crazy.
You know, if anything, you should have thanked that man. You should have thanked that man that somebody who can get the better of you didn't shove your, head and your face into the ground, take advantage of you the way he could have, because he had the better of the guy. He was on top of the guy and decided to let him up. And when he lets him up, dude dusts himself out, man, go to shoot him 6 times,
terrible.
bro. That's,
You just walked away. You lost that battle, man.
walk away, bro. Go do like Chronic is doing. Go do like the Yeti. We just had a Yeti sighting, man, and go practice boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Take you a boxing class. Take you a self-defense class.
Right.
Go watch some episodes of Sanford and Son when Lamont, was getting bullied by the guy.
I ain't see that one.
Oh, bruh. Grady saved him.
Grady did.
Grady saved his life, bruh, because Lamont was in there with the big man's girl in the restaurant. He and Rollo and the man's the girl's ex-boyfriend came in there. He got old bald head and like he's straight off D Block, and he walk in there and basically punk Lamont. So Lamont goes and takes a self-defense class. So he's back at the restaurant, and the guy comes in the restaurant, sees Lamont with him. He's like, "But didn't I tell you?" He said, "Now come outside, and I'm about to, I'm gonna tear you apart." So Lamont's still in the restaurant with Rollo and the other 2 ladies, and Rollo was like, "Yo, I'm gonna stay in here and protect the girls." Like,
That's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, Rollo don't even go outside.
I'm gonna survive.
Rollo don't even go outside. So during the time before Lamont get up and goes outside, Grady done showed up, and Grady telling the guy who's outside that he's about to, he's just out there just getting himself together. I'm about to knock this dude slam out. So Grady out there telling him that Lamont is sick. That Lamont, he's like, yeah, he's gonna be sick. He's like, no, he's really sick. He gets to doing things and saying stuff like, he really could die because of his condition or what have you. So the guy's just like, yeah, whatever, old man. Just get out of my way. Then Lamont comes out. So when Lamont comes out, he starts like he praying. But that was like what the instructor told him to do as he get it started. So he's before he goes into all his, all his karate stuff. So it's like he comes out of the prayer.
He's trying to meditate.
Right. He out there, he put his hands, doing all the stuff that he did. But remember, this is a comedy. And, he gets to, like, jumping up and down like he having a seizure. And then the guy just, like, runs away because Lamont's like, huh? What? And, like, doing all, jumping up and down. And then the guy, looks at Grady and says, yeah, man, you're right. This guy is crazy. Let me. And he goes and he flees and he rocks out, man. But anyway.
That's funny.
Yes, indeed. I was raised on television.
Yes.
To me, one of the famous bullies was, of course, the Gooch.
The Gooch.
And did we ever actually see the Gooch?
We never saw the Gooch.
And that's what I think made him the greatest bully there was.
Yeah, we never saw the Gooch. Never saw the Gooch. And the Gooch got cameos with Mr. T and Muhammad Ali. Because Arnold told Muhammad Ali when Muhammad Ali did a cameo appearance that, the Gooch was bullying him and doing whatever. And he's like, let me get on the phone. So Gooch is on the phone and he's like, hey, Gooch. And he's like, what happened to the Gooch? And they made it appear that the Gooch fell out. Like wherever he was, like the phone was just there and he fell out just at the voice of Muhammad Ali. And then Mr. T. It's funny that you mentioned Mr. T. Because I was just thinking about one of the greatest episodes of Saturday Night Live of all time. That's when Carla from Cheers, she did a guest appearance on Saturday Night Live, and she played Mrs. T.
Yeah, I remember
bro,
that.
you get a chance, when you get a chance one day, bro, you just want to laugh.
Yeah, that was funny.
YouTube, Saturday Night Live, Carla and Mrs. T. Because, everything's like, I pity the fool. And she was going right there with, I pity the fool. I pity the fool. I pity the fool. But you know who's not a fool? Bruce Springsteen. Guess what?
500 million.
500 million. Bruh, if I am, how old is Bruce Springsteen? Like 70 now? He got to be either in his 60s or his 70s.
15 times platinum. Born in
Bruh.
the USA.
I would say Bruce Springsteen is at least 65. At least 65. So to be 65 and say, you know what, I'm going to take these 500 million for my publishing and my catalog. So I'm going to take this 500 million. I'm going to do what I want to do. My family not going to have to wait and get
72.
these. He's 70. Yeah, he's 72 years old. That's the perfect age to do a deal like this. Because
Absolutely.
at 72 years old, he can't spend $500 million.
At all.
No.
He can't spend $500 million. And also, as far as his publishing and his catalog and his stuff, he, you know, they don't just give you that money. They go in and do an audit of your category and your collection. So to give him $500 million, you know, lifetime, it's probably going to be worth $2-3 billion.
Right.
Wow.
They say his salary is $80 million per year.
Yeah, because he tours, bro.
What he makes right now.
Yeah, because
He makes $80 million a year.
He tours.
Wow.
This man tours when he does a tour. He tours for like 2, 3, 4 years straight. You know, that's what. When he stops touring, is probably when he dies. That's probably when he died, because right now his body used to it. Same with the Rolling Stones, groups like that. So I'm not upset at all. I think it's a wise move because at 500 million, you know, folks could be like, "Oh, Bruce, you know, you don't own your masters anymore," because he did the deal. He did a 2-part deal with Sony. He sold his masters and he sold his publishing.
That was the full 500, so he sold both.
Yeah, so the deal was 500 million. 500 million, bruh. You know what I mean? You could say, hey, y'all go ahead and have that. Y'all go ahead and have that. Because
Especially
what can you do with it? And his kids, you know what I'm saying? They don't even know what to do with it.
Set up trust.
Just set up a trust fund and don't worry about the publishing. Just let Sony handle that publishing. We done took our money up out of that. We got our money up out of that. Don't worry about these little checks
So it's
that's
theirs
coming.
for lifetime now, right?
It's theirs. It's theirs now. He sold it. It's like they're gonna control it. That's a good move. But I wouldn't encourage somebody like Flo to do it.
Right, 30,
not
40
right
years
now.
old, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't encourage him to do it right now. Because first of all, they wouldn't come with the 500 mil right now. They probably would come with like 100 mil.
Right, the number
which
would
is
be
still-
lower.
Yeah, the number would probably be 100 million, and he would be like, you know, wow, 100 million, but 100 million in today's climate, in today's, you know, what it is that you want to do, is not. And I don't want to sound like Latrell Sprewell here, talking about he can't feed his family.
Careful
Like
now.
I'm definitely not on that. What I'm saying is this: money is not going to be worth the same.
Yeah. Well,
And the reason why I say that, between the crypto and, you know, the NFTs, which is also tied to crypto, and, you know, with everything that's going on, you have people that's making stupid amounts of money, but there's nothing
They can do with it.
backing it.
Right.
There's nothing backing it. What I mean by that is not gold based.
It's not
You don't have
tangible.
a commodity. You don't have
Well,
something that you can go.
That's not
It's-
100% true.
Let me finish my point, and then Dr. Newkirk,
My
you
bad,
can
I
come
apologize.
in and do it, because what my point is, in terms of not having that backing, when you can make money exponentially by simply printing money, which is essentially what you have, it can lead to what's called hyperinflation. And what hyperinflation is when you sow bread is like what, $3 a loaf. Hyperinflation, it's like bread is $100 a loaf. You feel me? And so my point with the not being back is simply saying $100 million in today's climate is not necessarily, you know, if you still got another 40 years of life expectancy, that's different than a Bruce Springsteen, which is, the life expectancy for a white male is 77. So
he's already 70.
So he's 72. So 500 million in 5 years, plus you, as Teddy Pitt indicated, you making 80 million a year, and that's just on his publishing and royalties. Who knows what else the man is making, doing whatever. Plus he can still do his shows and tours, investments, real estate, all this other stuff. So I'm sorry to cut you off, Newkirk. Go ahead, bro.
No, what I was saying was, a lot of these companies or these cryptocurrencies have utilities behind them. So those utilities is what makes, so for example, it can send money to somebody across the world. They can they have blockchains, and the blockchains creates basically different jobs and for a platform. So instead of you having to spend so much money to be on the Ethereum network, you can go ahead and be on the Phantom network. The Phantom network is a lot cheaper to spend money. And the Binance network as well. So it's cheaper for gas fees. It's cheaper, to do your transactions because you're self-banking. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of different things that goes on behind the doors. But now when you're talking about meme coins, now meme coins don't have any utilities behind them. These are just something usually in the beginning when they first come out, they usually don't have any utility behind them. But sometimes they build utilities and stuff like that behind them, like they're trying to do with Sheepcoin and Dogecoin and things like that. But like you said, that is true.
And what utilities are behind the Ethereum? Like they have the energy company. Which one have they purchased?
It's not even about purchasing energy company. It's just that they make so much money. The coin itself makes so much money off of the blockchain itself. What you're doing is you are illustrating my point. It's money in the air. It's money in the air. There's no difference between $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion. It's what the market demands. And when the market is demanding something and it's not backed, so even if you have a utility company that's behind it, how much is that utility? I'm sorry, I apologize. When I'm saying the utility company, we're not talking about power. I'm sorry. We're not talking about power. We're talking about basically different businesses that's created behind the coin itself. Whatever it does to, like for example, Dogecoin, they're going to be putting in the AMCs. By them being able to put it in AMCs, people can just use their Dogecoin and pay rather than using.
So when you're saying utility, you're talking about usefulness.
Usefulness, yeah. Like what's behind the coin and stuff like that.
No.
What's behind the coin?
When I'm talking about currency being backed, the dollar used to be backed by gold.
Right.
That's what they mean by the gold standard. And so what I'm saying is when you have a currency that, is as far as your mind can take it, there's really, you know what I mean? Like you can't go into a underground vault somewhere and have $1 trillion worth of diamonds.
Right,
which is.
But they got a lot of times the money is what's backing the coin.
And that's the whole thing is money. Money is paper. Money is nothing. It's no longer backed. It's not backed by silver. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed. It's just
backed by technology though, and applications and
which
developers.
Which is something that is exactly.
And now
that's
there's
the point.
crypto games. And now there's play to earn.
And that's the point.
So incredibly.
That's the point. It's what's in your mind.
No, it's not. No. They've developed these codes from an actual computer. A computer has developed a code to create a blockchain. That Bitcoin is a code. Ethereum blockchain is a code. And believe it or not, these companies are creating utility by creating, like I said, crypto video games that users who own the token can play to earn NFTs, cryptos, and
think
it's
of
endless.
Roblox games and different things that goes on.
I understand.
Then they're going to take out the banking institution. So Western Union, you know how you want to send your boy in Colombia like $100? You got to send it through Western Union, right? And you got to provide his name, his, and then they charge you a fee for your money to get there, and the guy for pick it up in cash, they charge you a fee. Well, this company called Compound, which is a cryptocurrency, is taking out that middleman. They're working on sending wire transfers direct, international, worldwide, through their blockchain. So you're going to cut out Western Union. You're going to cut out Wells Fargo. You're going to cut out every middle bank that wants to take just a little bit out of you for you to give to your friend in, I don't know, Costa Rica, Colombia,
I mean, just
Africa.
imagine having a Cash App. It's just like you being able to Cash App somebody across the world, but that's the utility behind the coin. One of the utilities.
There
One
it
of the
is.
utilities behind the coin.
So again, utility is usefulness, and we're not talking about.
I mean, all they've done
like
is
that.
created another term to still be what you're saying and not be totally backed by something. I mean, Bitcoin, none of these things are actually backed by anything tangible. It's still the person, you know, like Elon Musk, Snoop Dogg, these different corporate people are saying, yeah, I put $2 million into this. I put this much money into it. But still, that money is still debt, cash. It's different if they put diamonds, gold, oil, agriculture. That's tangible. You see what I'm saying? So that's the means where it's not backed. The only reason why it's working is because these corporate and wealthy people are investing in it.
They're investing in it because they are waiting on the folks to, you know, the smart people to keep feeding into this industry. And I'm not saying that it's not. What I'm saying is that the effect of one potential effect could be to devalue currency.
But the government is getting into cryptocurrency.
Again,
they have products.
We're talking about
other governments.
We're talking about $500 million. Remember, for Bruce Springsteen, and why that $500 million makes sense at his age at 72, but at 42, $100 million may not make sense based on the current climate of where things are, because in the next 5, 10, 20 years, the value of that dollar may go way down, is the point that I'm trying to make. That the value of that dollar will go way down because you have other things like cryptocurrency, which are vying to replace a traditional currency. So everything that you guys are saying, as far as, you know, what these cryptocurrency companies are doing and what they're doing to replace this bank or to replace Cash App or to replace Western Union, all these things is proving the point that $100 million today may not be worth $100 million in 10 years. And that has never been the case in the United States. It's always been the opposite. Present market value, the present value of money today has always been greater than it is. Like folks would tell you, if you bought a house for $250,000 in 1920, that's like buying a house for $2 million today. You understand? So what I'm saying is, this is like the first time that I'm seeing the potential that $100 million today would not be worth $100 million in 10 years.
Yeah,
Maybe it may come down the exact opposite of what was happening before. But I don't want to get caught on that. I want to go to the next joint. So Holly Madison, man. So Holly Madison, you know her. I know if anybody here know her, it would have to be Teddy T, because I don't know her.
Today, you know Holly Madison?
I did not know Holly Madison, but Holly Madison was one of the girlfriends of Hugh Hefner, the late Hugh Hefner.
Well, she's the one that lives at the house now.
Oh, I don't know if that she lived at the house now,
but they sold it.
She was his girl from 2001 to 2009, I believe. And so she's basically saying in her tell-all memoir that on the first night, Hugh Hefner did a Teddy T. She was like, oh, I thought, you know, I was going to get a chance, you know, to hang, you know, with Hugh and everybody and all the girls and just, you know, be on, just live high on the hog. You know, she's 21 years old, her first time with Hugh going out. But next thing you know, Hugh is like, give me that. It's like, give me that. So Hugh did what Cardi B said. He did what he want. Bought me, he said it wrong. And now she coming back saying, you know,
she was forced.
There's some scandal
that
it was forced.
She was, you know, intoxicated. She was impaired. Blame it on the alcohol.
If he was still alive, you think she would have released that?
Of
course not.
Well, she did. She did before he died, because he died in 2017, I believe. And she did, start releasing stuff. And All Hugh came, which I know probably made her even more mad. All Hugh came in there and said, well, been a whole lot of people, come in and out of the mansion over the years. You win some and you lose some. Like, something that he said was just like
a wise comment.
Yeah, it was definitely being a wise guy. But he was like, hey, folks are rewriting history and whatnot. I don't like the whole notion of, when people are dead, you kind of let sleeping dogs lie.
Right.
But
leave them be.
Leave them be. But I guess she want to, come back.
If it's newsworthy, that's what they be wanting. They want that element to be seen in the news, and then they can go out and be a socialite, and everybody can be like, oh, that was so terrible.
Yeah, but Teddy, how we do it on here, we keep it 1,000 on Ask Mathis.
Mm-hmm.
So anything what that story just did, it just made me feel a little better about old Hugh.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought Hugh just had him around, like he wasn't doing nothing. So Miss Madison,
there was a purpose.
I gotta
there was
be
at
like,
least a purpose.
Hugh. I might have to put Hugh on that Mount Rushmore along with Ike Turner, Joe Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a question. Nick Cannon been hitting a lot. Nick Cannon been with a lot of, a lot of chicks, man. What do you say about that? Does he make it to that Mount Rushmore yet?
Not no Mount Rushmore that I care about, and not the one I'm talking about. Definitely not.
You know what I'm saying? Well, you got to think, a lot of these brothers that had, some of them got with Holly, some of them got with some of the best, bro. You feel me?
And none of them on the Mount Rushmore.
Will Chamberlain?
I put the one, no, man, he ain't on the Mount Rushmore. No. We ain't talking about ones that just go out, just players and going out and getting them.
Okay.
We talking about ones that's exploiting them and making money off of them.
Pimping.
I ain't gonna say
pimping.
that.
I'm saying not pimping, but what's my man? My man Goldie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he was a Mac.
The Mac.
He's a Mac, but that was pimping. Like, he was pimping. He was getting paid for prostitution, so he was pimping. But I'm talking about folks who were not necessarily pimps, but as my man Jay-Z says, I'm not a pimp by law, but relation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. The Mount Rushmore. Ike Turner. Remember Ike Turner? When he said the famous words to Tina when she had the baby, at least the way they portrayed it in the movie. So what you mean? Oh, we got San Antonio. We got, you got to get up and work. Go get that money. Get out and get that money. So it made me feel a little better about Hugh, to tell you the truth. Because I was like, oh, man, he ain't doing nothing. Old man ain't doing nothing. Man, he was getting it in. All right, bro, what else
Apparently
we got?
he was doing
Mike
something.
was a pimp, too.
Oh, man.
What else we got? We got, what was the next one? We got,
Yeah, who is that?
who was that? The Democrat, West Virginia?
Oh, man, so Teddy T, they calling your boy Joe from West Virginia, Joe Manchin. They calling him Mr. President because he controlling, what's going on, because you got a 50-50 split in the Senate. So basically, any holdout can get whatever they want. And so Joe Manchin says, no, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. So I was just reading the article, and they just talking about your man Joe Manchin. All the little press corps just follow him around. They got folks embedded with Manchin. Their job is just catch him in the hallway, watch him go from meeting to meeting. But I think he loving it right now because he doesn't have the pressure. He doesn't have the pressure of the whole country. All he got to do is satisfy his constituents in West Virginia. And basically, like, man, for whatever it is, you best believe I'm going to make it, good for West Virginia. That's how it used to be with the senator from Alaska, Ted Stevens. Ted Stevens, bro, I've gone to Alaska once, and going up to Alaska, bro, everything is called Ted Stevens. The airport is Ted Stevens Airport, like the roads, everything. Because when he was in the U.S. Senate, Ted Stevens brought home that bacon for Alaska. That bridge to nowhere that Sarah Palin was talking about.
Right. He built it.
He got the funding for it. because that's what he was on. He brought the bacon back home.
Yeah.
And so that's probably what Manchin, he's the former governor of West Virginia as well. So I think Joe Manchin be a successful presidential candidate.
What's the Build Back Better plan that him and Biden are going back and forth on?
So regarding the Build Back Better plan, which was supposed to be a self-imposed Christmas deadline, that's going to be put into the new year. But the main holdup right now is that the child tax credit. Manchin is against the child tax credit that is part of the Build Back Better program. Family leave, which would give, I believe, up to 4 weeks of paid maternity leave. And Joe Manchin is like,
but doesn't that fall? I mean, that falls under his constituents too.
Remember, Joe Manchin is from West Virginia. And you know what Trump won West Virginia by? 40 points.
Oh, okay.
So you can't, no Democrat can tell Joe Manchin anything about what to do. If anything, you got to be happy that Joe Manchin, is down with you for about 85% of what you down for. Because if it was no Joe Manchin, there would not likely be a Democrat from West Virginia. It would likely be 2 Republicans in the Senate from West Virginia. That's just what it is. And there's some of the poorest, uneducated individuals in the country, and they constantly vote against their self-interest because they're more tribal. Teddy and I was talking about once before, I didn't know much about West Virginia, and then I was watching a documentary on PBS about West Virginia and the mines, bruh, the coal mining in West Virginia, and a lot of the racial tension came up because they were trying to unionize the coal workers, and there was a lot of wars. Like, there was literally a war between the mine owners and the workers. They, just the conditions was out of control. And when they were organizing to try to get them to be, and it was literally shooting and, having gun battles with folks who were coming in trying to organize labor, and they had strikes. So they got the people to, the workers to walk out and do these strikes. And guess who they brought in to break the strikes?
Who?
Black people. And when they brought the black people in to break the strikes, then you can only imagine what happened, the tension and the killings and the stuff like that. So with West Virginia, man, it's, the race relations is, it's tough, even though you have a lot of black folks who work in those coal mines.
That's the reason why they created West Virginia, because Virginia was 80% mulattoes, light-skinned people, because of the mixture between the Europeans and the Native Americans and the slaves. So that's why they went to that little corner to have their own West Virginia, still being of value to the Virgin herself, Elizabeth. You know what I'm saying? And to carry on their traditions. So that's what makes West Virginia West Virginia. It's its own little island over there. And it's next to it's a part of the Commonwealth to a degree of Kentucky, because it's right there by Kentucky. You know what I'm saying?
What's the difference between West Virginia, Kentucky, and Virginia?
That Kentucky is a Commonwealth.
No, I'm talking about the real difference. I'm talking about the Teddy T difference.
I mean,
they're the same people. They're the same tribes. They like
definitely
the Anglo-Saxons.
Definitely the same Native Americans. You got the Shawnees, Lenape, like the same little, like what I am, Shawnee. You got them in Ohio, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Virginia. Like, that's all that. It's a lot of like the Iroquois Confederation. All that is all right now. All same setup right there. Like that's that Northwest area.
And
like,
then what about Louisiana? Because the folks, I don't care, man. The folks, the white people in Louisiana, bro, they just look different. Like, they look like a lot of inbreeding. Like,
definitely.
they just
Creole
look very different, bro.
I mean, like the people in New Orleans and Haiti, the Creole element, you know, the coming from I forgot that the spot up in between Russia and Canada, that little, was it Newfoundland?
Nova Scotia?
Nova Scotia. These people came from Nova Scotia into Louisiana, and they became the Creoles, and then they went into they became French. They were French, like people that the Vikings, all these different elements from the Gauls and the Visigoths went from all Nova Scotia, all these elements into Louisiana. But you got the House of Bourbons, which was really, you know, the War of 1812 was really the ending of the independent war with England and France. They all fought together, you know what I'm saying? So Louisiana, you got different Native American tribes along with France, Spain, you know, because that's the Louisiana Purchase with Napoleon and Spain and all that. So you got all that combination mixed right there. And then with the Bourbons, like even when you got the different slave masters that gave their different plantations to their slave children, they were all light-skinned though. You know what I mean? Like a lot of slave owners that were black were light-skinned because their fathers, you know what I'm saying? So you got those people who were the mix of Native Americans, Africans, and then the Spanish and French people. So yeah, it's all those different, those are the main, in Louisiana, that's what you're getting.
Yeah, so and then I guess what the end result of that is we get this judge down in Louisiana, Judge Mary, what's her last name? Newkirk? Michelle O'Donnell. And see, that sounds Scottish. Michelle O'Donnell. She came back and, you know, gave a big apology. You know, we was telling the folks that, you know, it was a home invasion, or they trying to say an armed burglary, and her sons came out, apprehended this individual, and, you know, captured him. You can't even say they caged him like an animal because, you know, somebody breaking in my house, man, they get what they get. Like, they do not get, you know, the white cloth treatment at all. They get what they get. So I got no issue with them beating this man, you know. But now, you know, the fallout is that it was a whole lot of N-wording. And I believe you have the tape, Newkirk. You can play the tape, you know, for our viewing audience. Then, you know, they can see for themselves whether or not she was sedated, whether or not she was medicated, like she claimed. You know, she
didn't know what she was saying. Supposedly
medicated, right? She said, "I have no recollection of that whatsoever."
Right, complete regret.
When she's sentencing somebody in her courtroom, I wonder if that person said, "I have absolutely no recollection
of the sentencing, right?
Of what y'all talking about that they said I did. I would never do something like that." Cause she was so giddy. Sound like a little girl. She's like, N-word.
Whoa.
Like, she's like a roach.
Wow.
It's like a roach. I was like, whoa, man. This is not your first time saying this.
Right. Like you've been doing this for years.
It's video. It's like this is not your first time saying this. You will have Instagram. You can go on Sean. Oh yeah, if that should be it right there if you have it pulled up, man. But just imagine going in front of this judge, man. Like, how can she, you know, have any kind of credibility, you know, with the people? What about the people who work in our courtroom? Oh, wow. The clerks and the bailiffs and the
the people who work with
begin with new developments. Judge Michelle O'Donnell's use of racial slurs in a home video.
O'Donnell's attorney spoke to News 10 late tonight. According to Dane Ciolino, City Court Judge Michelle O'Donnell says she's embarrassed and humiliated after a video surfaced earlier this week. Through her attorney, O'Donnell announced that she will immediately begin a leave of absence without pay. He said O'Donnell will use her time away from the bench to think about what is next. Ciolino said that his client was sorry for what she has done and the harm she has caused to the community. According to Ciolino, the Louisiana Supreme Court will move to appoint an interim judge to hear court cases.
You need a mortgage company that actually cares about you and your family.
Yeah, if you have
all banks are.
If you follow Sean King, like Sean King had posted the video. Yeah, he posted the video, and you see it, bro. It just, I mean, it makes you sad, bro. As a, as an attorney, bro. Sometimes, you go in front of the judges, and you feel like it's more than just your client or your matter, that it is you as a person, as an individual
that could dictate the result. Or
man,
that's incredible. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How far down is it?
On Sean King. Yeah. What are you on his IG? I don't know how to get it that way, but it's probably It's probably.
This might be it.
They be saying, "Goddamn!"
Like, why are your lights on? They're like, "Pull up!"
And mom's yelling, "Nigger, nigger!"
Kid, we have a nigger. It's a nigger, like a roach.
Look, that's me. No, that's I came from the backside.
Look, he trips over the. He trips twice. He trips twice.
I was the only one running. That's me. Kitty was standing. I'm the one that took him down. Kitty's just standing there.
He lied. That Austin's wallet.
Yeah. That's my phone where it fell out.
Look, Mom. The dude had a phone on him. You should have taken his phone and stolen from him, that fucking asshole.
And now I'm going to grab a gun.
Go and get the gun.
It's important. Very important.
As me and Austin maintain control of the situation.
The good thing is we've got video. We've got fuck. Look, they're with the car. Wait, look. There's
look, here comes the rubble.
Want to play fetch? Trouble is what's like this.
Mom goes, "Why are the lights to your
When I pull up in the whip, they be saying, "Goddamn!"
Like, why are your lights on? They're like, "Pull up!"
And mom's yelling, "Nigger, nigger!"
Kid, we have a nigger. It's a nigger, like a roach.
Look, that's me.
No, that's.
Oh my God.
Right, hey,
So that's what she said, and she's a judge.
But see, the difference is when we talked about it yesterday, it was kind of like, I thought it was like in the act. So if I catch you in my house and we're in the act, yeah,
Right.
I'm going to be calling you these names then.
During that
but if
time.
now we're sitting back recalling what happened,
right? Yeah,
that's
true.
a little different.
That's way different.
That's totally different right there. Like you should.
That's your
no
everyday.
immediate
Right.
danger.
That's just like saying we were in the pizza today.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, Mom was like,
right. You said it. You said it. Right. And that's the judge. So her kids and they're going around and their friends and all that folks. That's just showing you. I'm sure that she's not the only one.
And he posted it.
I'm sure she's not the only one. In her set, in her circle, like the folks that she chill with, the folks that she cool with, that lets you know in Lafayette, Louisiana, what they own.
Definitely in Louisiana.
So when the folks come in there and say we got racial relations, like, hey, we don't see color, it's like, man, come on. You have this
clearly
behind the curtain look to see, like, folks who are in positions of power, how they really think of you, and nothing has changed in terms of the creation of the Civil Rights Act and the creation of 1981, 1983, 1985 actions, where those actions, are for government officials who are in their official capacity, discriminating. Used to have police officers who were members of the Ku Klux Klan, the mayors, members of the Ku Klux Klan, and then running around, it's the sheriff. And then everybody in town know, like, the sheriff is also the grand wizard of the Klan. Yeah. So the federal government had to come in and step in and penalize and criminalize this particular conduct, making what's called hate crimes and things of that nature. Go ahead, Teddy.
And that's what I was saying yesterday. That's where, like in Lafayette, this could be something that is just a regular thing where the federal government would have to come in, because even the black people accept this, so they don't deal with them in those elements, and they know what to expect if they do deal with them, and they just stay away from it. Like Baton Rouge is terrible. You know what I'm saying? Baton Rouge is just like Lafayette.
That's where the police killed the man that was selling CDs out front of the Arab store, gas station.
Yeah, Baton Rouge is even worse, because Baton Rouge has a lot of black millionaires, like a lot, and it's like that. It's like that Tulsa jealousy, once again, in Baton Rouge. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like in those areas, there's a lot of, because, like I say, each parish there's a lot of open land in Louisiana, and there's a lot of private land. So different people own different lots of different situations. That's farming, and then there's no Louisiana as a whole is an unincorporated state. So all the gas companies are in Louisiana because they don't pay taxes. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So Louisiana is a whole nother setup. Like Florida and Louisiana are pretty much based under the same laws because of the land grants from back in the days that Spain did with the people. Like that's where the Miami Circle come from. How the Miami Circle got stopped because the Empress of Washita, she went to Jeb Bush like, hey, this is my land. I don't want woo-woo. And Jeb Bush, Washita made Texas a republic. Like Texas was created because of Washita. Jeb Bush know that. So that's why he went with the lady from the Miami Herald and they put all that stuff together. You know what I'm saying? So Spanish, French, you know, the Louisiana Purchase, they gave all the land away, but it was only just the streets, little parts of New Orleans. There was no way that Spain could sell that land to France because it wasn't theirs to sell. You know, so they've been living underneath these conditions. Like, remember when the New Orleans people, they called the people there refugees after that. And these people are from there, but they called them refugees. You know what I mean? So it's some real.
That's what it is. What else do we have before we get up out of here, DJ Newkirk?
Fox blows up after Geraldo confronts Hannity on air.
Oh yeah, that was interesting. So basically, you know, they all come on Fox News and have a powwow, kumbaya sessions on, you know, what went wrong and how we're gonna get it right. But then they bring on Geraldo Rivera sometimes, and he tries to maintain his independence. That, you know, he's good with everybody. He and Donald Trump are real friends, and, you know, he can tell him things that no one else can tell him. And so they bring Geraldo on Fox to make it look like they somehow balance. So they bring Geraldo, and Geraldo is like, you know, what you guys did was wrong, because while you guys are on air, basically, you know, saying that January 6th was no big deal and all that, we now have your tweets and your phone calls that you were making to Mark Meadows, asking the president at the time to go on TV and get your people to stop. You need to go in there and condemn the violence. You need to get in there and do something. Even his son, Donald Trump Jr., had reached out to Mark Meadows saying, yo, can you get this guy to go on TV? This is really, really bad. This is really, really bad. So Geraldo called him out on it, and it was just like, man, you gonna jump on this liberal, progressive talking point. Man, this is a nothing burger. This is a nothing burger. It's just like they were showing a comparison, this media website that I follow, they were showing a comparison of the networks when they were, you know, revealing these tweets. And instead of Fox News, you know, showing the tweets, Fox News was covering the $500,000 Christmas tree that burned up. You know, that burned, bruh. So it's like, when the media doesn't want to give it to you right down the middle, we got a problem. Because when facts are in dispute, like, we should have known something when Kellyanne Conway came with this alternative facts. And now that's here to stay.
That's what's here. That's what they did all that.
It's here to stay. It's here to stay.
I read this thing that it said in the 50s in Puerto Rico, the people stormed the Capitol building, and they each got 40 to 50 years
Wow.
for storming the Capitol building.
That sounds about right.
Like,
that's what we assumed we would have got if we did it.
That whole, I don't care what you look at, how you look at it, that was
They probably
terrible.
call it treason. They
But
won't. They
exactly,
The folks
right.
won't call it treason right now.
That-
They
that's
won't
what-
call it, because if you call it treason, then
You
you're
gotta
looking
do
at
that.
sentences like
That's
that.
right, but that's
They calling it disorderly conduct or trespassing.
I mean,
you know, they
that's
go
I
on
can
light
see if you
because these folks are.
Another slap on the
You
back
got
of the head.
lawyers and firemen and police officers and and retired military. You got all these folks that get a pass in the country. They get a pass in the country. That's them saying, you know, America was built on revolution and built on individuals like this. So this is their version of the Tea Party. This is their version of the Tea Party. So the folks who are sympathetic to what happened January 6th was like, yo, you got some people who just like, we just went about it wrong, but yo, we really could have did this. Like that's what's going on. Like the Mike Flynn's, the General Flynn's was just like, I'm about it. You know, I'm about it. But again, your boy Trump shows his colors again, which is he ain't gonna fight nobody. He ain't gonna fight nobody. He gonna get out there and he'll get people willing to go fight for him. But when it's time to fight for he gonna abandon you. He gonna abandon you. He telling me, man, what are you talking about, bro? I'm at the crib. Man, I ain't coming out there no more. Them people ain't do nothing to me.
I'm good.
And them folks is like, hey man, we're here. We're here for you. We're here for you. You know, revolution, like this is what it is. Tread on me. And he's like, man, prank caller, get off my line. How'd you get this number? Prank caller. And he done left all these people out there. They thinking they gonna get pardons. They thinking they patriots. And this man come in there telling me, man, you know, who told y'all to do that?
Nobody told y'all.
Ain't nobody tell y'all to do that. I said y'all walk peacefully down to the Capitol, and I'm gonna go with you.
But I didn't.
I ain't make you know, Secret Service, you know, they wouldn't let me come. They wouldn't let me come. They said I had to go around the back. But I was with y'all in spirit.
Well, he could have walked the underground, couldn't he? Couldn't he met him there if he wanted to? They got an underground tunnel straight to the Capitol.
If I mean, he could have did anything, but the whole point, he didn't want to be there because of not being able to control the menu.
Yeah, he egging them people. He egging them people on, but he's like, he thinking they was all gonna get shot. Or he was thinking like, I want some martyrs. I need some bloodshed. I need that. So I need to wake up the whole country. Because now, if I see that I got the whole country mounting up, like, bro, that would have happened. Is there any doubt in your mind? And I ain't talking about Miami. We not gonna mount up and all that other stuff. But, bro, you talking about Lachahatchee and Ocala and the Panhandle and all these places, bro. Like, even they just had the Kentucky with the tornadoes in Kentucky, and they had one of the old guys out there talking. He had on the Trump hat. Out there talking. They just left everything, but this man got his Trump hat, and he's out there, and he still got his hat. He got his hat.
Still about that life.
Still about that life, man.
You got to think, the one thing that I can say what happened during Donald Trump era is he created a new white man. You know what I mean? Or he brought back the old.
Yeah, the unapologetic. Yeah. The unapologetic. Why do we have to apologize for greatness?
Right.
Why do we have to apologize? Because we invented everything. We did everything. And you guys ought to be fortunate to be here. And I appreciate y'all rocking with us. We got to go. DJ Newkirk says we done went over. You got to cut some of this convo. How we going to get up out of here, Teddy T? I know we're going to have to cut some of that convo when it comes to the judge.
Yep. I was hearing it.
There was a lot of beeping.
Either that or I'm going to have to just go straight, just let it be the auto caption or something like that.
Oh, he going with the chick daddy.
It's supposed to be the land of the free. I don't see how. Count me in. Oh, America. Oh, America. America, sweet land of liberty, y'all. I'm doing this one for the struggle, and everybody doing brother, sister.